Hi everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs. In today's video, I have some more dome candy cards that have been really popular, this time with a Valentine's theme. So before we get into assembling these, let me answer some questions. I have made quite a few of these. We've done them for a lot of the past holidays, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, a bunch of them, and they've been really popular, but I've had a few questions. So first off, to make these, you will need a 3.15-inch dome. They're actually Christmas ornaments, and I know we're in January now. I was at Michael's this morning, and they have these. They're the right size. They are regularly $1.99, but they are on clearance right now for 70% off, which made them 60 cents. And one ornament will make two cards. So really they're like 30 cents per card. So go ahead and stock up now. I'm sure Hobby Lobby and Joann's and all of your craft stores are probably putting these on clearance. If you've missed your clearance or you're not by one of those stores, you can get them year-round on Amazon. You probably get them other places too, but I use Amazon all the time. So that's question number one. Question number two that I've gotten a lot of is, what if your domes are a little bit bigger or a little bit larger? So I guess in some places, Michael's domes that they were selling were 2.5 inches. And so I put together a couple of videos showing how to resize these to fit that smaller or larger dome if you want. And I've got a video for the Cricut and I've got a video for this silhouette. And I'll go ahead and put a link to those down below. And then the supplies that you're going to need is, first off, you will need a glue gun. And if you've watched my past videos, you'll notice I got a new glue gun. Santa brought it for me. You're going to need a pencil. And if you are doing the dial backs, you will need a brad. So these are the ones that I've got, and I think I just bought these at Target. I'm not sure. Target has them, Walmart has them. Most of your grocery stores have them. They're just the brass paper fasteners, and you'll want these, not the little tiny scrapbook brass. And that is only if you are doing the dial back. If you're doing a pull back tab, you don't need that. And I will show you the difference in this video. We're going to do a couple of each. Then you will also need some glue. You will need some foam pop dots or foam tape. I just use foam tape. And then a pencil. So let's go ahead and get started. This one that we're going to do first is the heart dome, Valentine heart dome. And it has a dial back. So the pieces that you will need that come in your file are, you'll have two frames. You have the circle frame and then a scallop frame. I have my red heart. I have my black heart with the arrow. And then I have the back piece. And this one I already started, but then I messed up. So anyway, it's already been started. You'll have your dial piece, and your dial piece has two washers. And these washers are really important. Without them, your dial doesn't spin. So you're going to want to make sure that you get those cut out. And then you have a final back piece. And sometimes this might be a half circle, sometimes it might be part of the shape. Just depends on what we're doing. Another thing that you need to know is, as you do these, you want something that has 3 or 4 layers. They can get a little bit heavy with these balls, especially depending on the type of candy you have. And so you'll want something that has 3 or 4 layers. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our dome and we're going to lay it over the back, on the back piece, and we're just going to trace it with a pencil. And I've already done that. That is so that you'll know where to glue your dome to. The next piece, and this is where I always mess up, is you want to assemble the dial if you're doing a dial piece. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take my original back, my very back piece, with the bottom cut out, or it might be a circle, and we're going to put that brad right through there. Flip it over, and you're going to take one of your washers and put a washer on. Then the dial, your second washer, and then your back piece with the line that you've drawn pointed up or towards you. We're going to put all those on there. And then we're going to just open that up and push it pretty flat. So now we're going to flip it over, and we want to take just regular glue, and we are going to put glue along this edge and just along the top and the sides. You're not going to do it on this bottom piece. And if you're doing one with the circle, you want to make sure that you just get the edge, because you want that dial to spin. So all I'm going to do is take my glue, and I actually like to flip it up this way, keeping it really clear of the dial. If you have a circle piece, you don't have quite as much room. Okay, so then just make sure that that is kind of all lined up. Give it just a minute or two to dry. My glue does dry clear. And then you're going to want to make sure that that spins. And if it's not spinning, chances are you didn't put your little washer pieces in there. Okay, so now once that's on there, I'm going to go ahead and actually open it. Now we're going to take our glue gun, and we're going to put glue all the way around that circle that we just drew. It doesn't have to be exact and precise, but you do want it to be pretty close so that everything lines up. Oops. Okay, then take your dome, and you'll notice that it has this little tab. That's what you're going to hang it on your Christmas tree from. I like to put that tab away from my opening. So on this one, I'm just going to put it down towards the bottom. We're going to just press that on there and hold it for a minute or two until it sinks down on there. Okay, now let's assemble the rest of this. Now you can either do it on top, one layer at a time, or you can do the whole thing at once and then glue this on. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to do this one layer at a time, and then the next one we'll do it a little bit different. I'm going to take my red heart, and I'm going to put some tape on it. And you can use tape or your glue. Doesn't matter. I actually kind of use a little bit of both. And the most important thing that you want to match up is that circle in the inside. Okay, just like that. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'll flip it over, because I think it matches up a little bit better. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to add my white circle. And I've probably, no. I do have an eraser that will erase that tape, so I'm not overly worried about it. In fact, I could even scrape it off, but we'll just get the eraser here in a little bit. Okay, now, before I put my last frame on, I'm going to actually take this and put it on the back with the dome already on there. But because of this tab, it's going to lift it up a little bit. So I've had a couple of people tell me that they just take their scissors or wire cutters and clip that tab off. I actually like to use the foam tape or the foam pop dots. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to cut some pieces. And then we can just pop this up, and it's going to be just fine with that little tab. Okay, then once I get that on there and everything's fitting, you might have to squish it down just a little bit. I'm going to add my final frame. And you don't have to add this final frame. I like it. I think it just gives it a finished look, but it's an optional piece. Smooth it down. Okay, now this one is ready to be filled with candy. So I'm going to flip it over, and I've got some conversation hearts. Just dump them in there. You could put almost any kind of candy in here that you wanted to. Gumballs, Hershey Kisses. I've got some other candy that we're going to do some of the others with. And now I'm just going to close that style. And there is my heart. Can't see that. Get it out of the camera. Dome. Now these are kind of big because the size of the dome. Like I said, if you want to do it with a smaller one, I've got some videos on how to resize it. Okay, so that is the dial back with the heart with arrow. And it also comes with a pull tab. Okay, let's move on. This one is also a dial back. And this one is our Valentine gnome. And he has quite a few more layers. So there's our dome. So we have our heart banner, the outline and the actual hearts. The frame piece. We have our little hands and our little nose. The hat is one layer. Then we have his beard with some more of the hat. This just gives it strength. That's why I have so many layers. It just gives it strength. We have our red layer, which is the clothes and the color of the back of the hat. This layer is black, and the only thing that's going to show on this layer right here is the feet. So you'll want to cut this layer out of whatever color you want his feet to be. And then we have his back piece. For the dial back, again, I don't know why I've got two brads. I've got my two washers, the dial, and the circle. So let's go ahead and do the dial first, or the back piece first. So I'm going to take my little dome, and I'm going to just set him right on there. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to take, sorry, I'm going to take my back piece, and this one on the gnome, I've made it so that the back is actually kind of a shadow, which is why I cut this out of white. So we're going to lay that on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw my circle. And let's put our dial together. So the dial back, flip it over, a washer, the dial, a second washer. Get that little tab out of there. And then with the line facing me, I'm going to poke that through and spread the brad. Okay, flip it over, and we're going to put glue on this circle piece. And this is what I was talking about, the difference. Instead of having the full shape, you just have the circle piece. And so you want to make sure that you're putting glue just on the very outer edge of that circle. And it's, again, almost easier if you pick it up and look at it. Don't get it down on that bottom, or your piece is not going to spin. And then make sure that it's spinning. Okay. press it again. Looks like I missed a spot right up there at the top. Okay, flip it over. We're going to add glue all the way around. I do like to close mine before I get started. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to need to re-glue that. There we go. I might make this circle a little bit bigger, so in the file that you get, this outer circle is going to be a little bit bigger. Yours won't be just exactly that way. That way it's not so close to the edge. Okay. I'm going to flip it over. Put glue on there. Be really careful that you don't get glue where the window is. That's why I close it so that I can see the different color. And you want to make sure that you don't get glue right where that open window is. So, okay, we're going to start it there. I don't know if it's because my glue gun is new and I've only run like maybe 2 sticks through it, but it seems like it doesn't flow quite as much as my old one did. That's okay. Okay, now we're going to put the dome on there. And again, I'm going to put the tab down towards the bottom. I'm going to put it towards the feet. Doesn't have to be exactly straight, but I want it out of the way there. Okay, so now I'm going to set this one aside and I'm going to actually build all the layers before I add it on there. I'm going to take, you want to make sure that if you're doing something that has a direction, that all of your shapes are running in the right size. So if I put it like this, that would not be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our red piece. And I think I'll just glue or tape this one on. Match it up. You want the inner circle first and then make sure everything else kind of lines up. And then you're just going to have to kind of do a think process. I do have the instructions for this, but so the next piece is our gray piece. It's our beard. This might be cut out of white or whatever color you want his beard, because that's the only piece that's going to show with this is the beard. So we're going to line it up. Make sure the circle's lined up first, and then match everything else up. And then our hat. Okay. The rest of these pieces we're going to put on after we've got this glued onto the dome. So I'm going to bring my back piece up and I'm going to start adding the foam tape again. I'm going to be kind of generous with this. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the more that you have on there, the better it's going to hold. Just remember that there's a shadow, so you don't want to put your foam or your glue right to the edge or it will show. All right, let's remove our little tape pieces. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to bump that. Let's remove our little tape pieces. I'm really excited. I've got 3 more Valentines in the works, but I've got some other cards and boxes that I want to get out. I've got a new style pop-up card that I'm really excited to share with you, and some more wiper cards. And then we'll get back to these domes. And I've got more domes for like birthday and a bunch of other occasions too. Okay, so now we're gonna just add that on there. Kind of push it down. I think these that I bought at Michael's might be just a hair bigger than the ones I bought on Amazon. But they're working fine, not a problem. Okay, so now we need to decorate, and we've got to decide how you want his hands and his banner and everything. So I'm gonna put my nose on first. And the nose has like a little circle cut right there, a crescent shape, and we're gonna put that right up against the dome. And then I'm gonna put the frame on. I wanna put the hands on top of the frame so it looks like he's holding the dome. Okay, so now, and then before I do the hands, I've also got this little banner that he's holding. So we're gonna do it. And you know what, before I do that, I think I'm gonna add, make sure I'm doing it the right direction. I'm gonna add the pink hearts. You could cut these out of any color you've got. You could even do your pattern paper if you've got some. Just to add a little bit of pattern and design to it. Most of the stuff I do with solids, not because I don't love paper. I love pattern paper. I have more than I will ever use. But I think it shows it off a little bit better when it's just out of the solid paper. Okay, so now I'm just gonna place that banner right up there. Whoops. Come on, stick, stick, stick. And then we've got our little hands. And I am actually, you could just glue those straight on, not a problem. I'm actually gonna put just a little bit of foam underneath them to pop them up. Give them just a little tiny bit more dimension. All right, there is our cute little Valentine gnome. Let's flip him over and we're gonna fill him up. Actually, I'm not gonna fill him up right now because I'm going to redo this back. Yeah, I'm gonna redo that back. So I'm not gonna fill him up just yet. Anyway, that is how you do the Valentine gnome. He is super, super cute. And once you get some candy in him, he's just gonna be so fun. And what gnome-loving person would not want a Valentine gnome? Okay, all right, just wanted to show you that I fixed the gnome file. So there he is. Turn him over. I fixed the back, and it's got the window. It all spins. And now we can fill it up with some candy. And this will be included in your file. It will have everything you need, excuse me, to make it the correct way. Sorry about that. Mistakes happen. Closes up. There he is. Last one that we're going to do today actually has the pull tab. So it's a little bit easier and you do it a little bit different. This one also, I have added some shading to it. So let me drag it over here. This is the Valentine teddy bear. Isn't he cute? And I think this would make such a cute baby gift too. You could leave the hearts off and use it for a baby gift, birthday gift. This one I'm really excited about. I have gone ahead, excuse me, and I have shaded most of the brown pieces on this one. You don't have to do that, totally optional. But I did it because I've cut his paws out of the same color of paper that I cut his body out of, and I wanted to add a little bit of dimension. When I do shading, well, I guess I should show you what pieces we're using first. So these are his paws. You have 2 feet and 2 hands, and then you'll have 2 pink pieces for the feet, the frame, his little nose. Now, I want to tell you about his little nose and his little mouth. This is a really thin piece. It will cut. I've cut this both with my Silhouette and my Cricut, and it cuts fine. If you are shrinking this down to accommodate a smaller dome, I don't know how well this piece may cut. You may want to just cut the little mouth piece off entirely and then hand draw it, because it's going to be really tiny. We have his muzzle, which I'm going to show you how to shade. Then we have the 2 hearts, the top of his body, which has all the cutouts, the pink layer. So this is the only thing that's going to show on this is his ears and his cheeks. So you'll cut this out of whatever color you want your ears and your cheeks to be. The black layer, and the only thing that's going to show with this is his eyes. And then you have your bottom piece, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. So when I shade, excuse me, lately I have been using the Tim Holtz Distress crayons. I love these. They are so much easier than an ink pad or chalk. Love, love, love them. So all you do is you're going to take, a little bit of a makeup sponge, and I cut mine into half or even thirds, and then get your crayon that you want to use for your muzzle. There's all kinds of different colors. I think because we're Valentines, I'm going to do pink. On the little feet, I did the brown, and on the heart, I did black. Again, this is an optional step. I'm just going to show you how I do it, because I have had a lot of people ask, and I do like when I'm using the same color and layering them, I like to add a little bit of ink to it. So on the muzzle, you could do this in brown too. Because I'm doing Valentine's, I'm going to do it in pink. All I did was I colored my sponge, and then I'm just going to go over the edges of it. I love the Distress crayons. I use them with my wood painting. I use them when I do cards. I use them when I do scrapbook layouts. I discovered these last year, and I am hooked. Love them, love them, love them. And I don't even work for Tim Holtz. Okay, so I just added a little bit. You could go heavier if you wanted to. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and add the dome. Now, because this is a pull tab, we can't fill it like we normally do. So we're going to have to fill it beforehand. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your back piece, and you're going to flip it over, and you're going to find that little tab and just kind of bend it just a little bit so that it's poking out, and so you have a place to put your finger and grab it. I like these with the pull tab for little kids. Some of the dials are a little bit harder for the little kids to do, and so if you've got little kids, the pull tab is the way to go. Okay, just like before, we're going to line up our dome, and I am not going to glue this with the tab where the pull tab is, but it's okay to line it up there. We're just going to draw a pencil all the way around. Now, before I go any further and glue this on, I want to fill this piece with my candy. So I'm going to get, I've got these candy corns that are Valentine colors. And when you're doing the pull tab, I don't usually fill mine quite as full. So there's my candy corns. Okay, now we're going to take our glue gun and put glue all the way around, except we do not want it on this tab. So we're going to start on one side of the tab and end on the other side of the tab. Do it right on the line. Woo. need to play around with this glue gun and figure it out. Okay. Now this is the only tricky part on this. I'm going to take my dome and I'm going to lay this card right on to the dome and kind of move it around. Except, you know what? I think my glue's already drying. Let's see. Okay, it's stuck. Wanted to make sure that it didn't dry before I got there. And I've got the little dome piece underneath, and that actually did not, it did dry. So let me try that again. Sorry, you get to watch me make mistakes so that you don't make them. This is a hot melt. I have tried it with the cool melt, and I just didn't think that it worked that well. I like the hot melt better. You are going to want to be careful though, because it is hot. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That time that worked. Okay, so I'm going to just set that aside while it dries, and we are going to go ahead and assemble our little teddy bear. I'm going to take my black piece. Again, this is the eyes. The only thing that's going to show in this is the eyes. So if you wanted your teddy bear to have blue eyes, you could cut this out of blue. And then we're going to take our pink piece. This is going to be the ears and the cheeks. So you're going to want to make sure, I tried to make these symmetrical, but you want to make sure that you're getting glue on the right side and that they're lining up correctly. Okay. Looks good for me. Okay, then we're going to take our bear piece, which is the front piece. Make sure that it lines up, and then we're going to go ahead and add tape to this. Now, if I wasn't in such a hurry, I would be doing more tape in more places, but I'm trying to get this done. I hate doing really long videos because I feel like you have much better things to do than sit and watch me make mistakes. Okay, go ahead and lay that on there. Get everything lined up. Okay, then at this point, I'm going to add him to the back. So we're going to go ahead and add our foam pop dots. Oops. Remove the back on those. And then add our bear. Okay. And he didn't line up quite right. I should have double checked before I glued that on there. In fact, I'm going to do this one more time. Because he's not quite on there straight. And okay, so I'm really making a mess out of this. I might have to do another video with just the bear. And part of it is I don't know what I'm doing with this new glue gun. I like it. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Ah, much better, much better. See, I knew that was going to work. Okay, so now we're going to get him all glued down there. And we're going to take our frame and glue it on. And actually, before I glue the frame on, I want to glue the muzzle on. So let's do the muzzle. And now the frame. Picked up a hair somewhere. Okay. Next up is his mouth. So we're just going to glue that right there. And you can try and put just some little dots of glue on that. It's such a small piece, but it adds so much to him. And you could take a Sharpie if you wanted to and add some little freckles to his cheeks. That would be really cute. Okay, now we're going to do his feet. And I'm just going to glue the centers right to his feet. And we are going to add those with foam pop dots. I know it. You could glue them right on there if you wanted to. But I'm going to just add them with some foam pop dots. I'm trying to work around the camera stand, and I'm having a heck of a time seeing what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just going to add that right there with the foam dot. Add this one right here with the foam dot. I think I'll do his paws the same with foam dots. And you can see, maybe you can't, how much the shadowing or the inking lifts that up from the original, from the background. Between the foam dots and the inking, it really does look three-dimensional because it is three-dimensional. Okay, I'm going to add one heart with glue right there. I'm going to add the last heart. With the pop dot. Just like that. And there is our little teddy bear. Isn't he so cute? And he has the pull tab on the back. And what little boy or girl wouldn't just love that little teddy bear Valentine Day? So we have the teddy bear, we have the gnome, and we have the heart. And just a heads up, I'm doing another video where I've actually taken these and done them with heart-shaped domes. They're a little bit different, but if you're interested in that, I hope you'll join me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of my videos, and have a great day.